ba 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 ba. Yeah, I'm in a jolly mood because most of my friends get paid on the 25th. Mwah, mwah. I love you, the female ones. What's up, my Buddhas is paying at 25. Oh man, welcome to it. It is the Slyso TV podcast. It is Jeepers, season 2, episode 33. Season that refuses to end once again. It's going to be a very short one. I'm all alone this evening. The Queen has some interesting and very important business to take care of. With that, it's welcome to it. I hope you've had a great weekend. Oh, especially these people. Especially these people. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I always say to my friends when they ask me or anyone asks me, which team do you support? I'm like, I don't have feelings to play. These what do they call it? With sport, with soccer. No. People cry. People get hurt for real, guys. Some people, you know. But talking about that, before we even start, I watched that team, Orbit. But Pirates didn't do anything. Orbit did everything to make sure that they hand over the trophy to Orlando Pirates. But for the business of sport, for eventing and all kinds of stuff, man, I have to commend the fact that that the game got played in Bombela, which means you're getting out of Gauteng, for a change, for a cup fight. Well, call it a cup final, league final, whatever. That was kind of like obvious to a lot of people for that type of game because the one team comes from Rusty's, I believe, and the other one from Soweto. So to take it to a different place like Mbombela, I'm sure. I mean, you could see the stadium was packed. Even though, I hope you Orbit people have recovered. But anyway, we'll move along from that. So my friend as well, us and now doing the things as well. So yeah, it was a happy chappy. Yeah. So a good one for sports, yeah. Mm. Slyso branded. It's coming to you. We're gonna be advertising and telling you where you can get it and how you can get it, including our apparel as well. But guys, I told you it's going to be a very short one. Wherever you are watching, please share. Well, obviously, usibukele uphi, usibukela ku YouTube okanye ku Facebook. There's a reason why we're doing that, and we're also encouraging people to follow the Slyso TV podcast on TikTok as well. So make sure that you do that for yourself. Ooh, okay? Good things that will come out of that. Okay, if you follow us regarding this Slyso brand, Slyso TV branded cup. I'm having something hot for real. Yeah. Before we get into serious stuff, I'm sure this guy surely is doing the same thing as well. Well, there it is. I mean, I think with this story, I can just say, just look at the screen. That's basically all the people that say that we demand an answer from the people who are actually going to be presiding over the life of the president of South Africa, given all kinds of stuff that has been said, and even former presidents coming up in support, saying that he's a businessman. But we're going to get to the story. But these are the people that are actually saying that they can't wait to deal with the president accordingly. Okay. You might want to, I'm just going to breeze through all of them. But these are the people who are going to be grilling, who are calling for the grilling of the president. Okay. Regarding that impeachment ruling. And very interestingly, somebody might have picked up on the title that former President THABO supports RAMAPHOSA. I've got a video. Thank you to the SABC. We'll be sharing the Creative Commons. Okay. That's branded as well. So, which is very important, very smart of reputable news sources to do that. Okay. So this is the story. Okay. They ask who are the MPs, investigating Ramaphosa's PHALAPHALA scandal. Okay, as per Parliament. you can see there an array, the reds, the rainbow ones like Rise Mzansi, IFP, UDM, all of these people. Out of them, who do you think is going to be in support of the president, and who do you think will actually be saying like, I bring the guillotines, bring the guillotines, this guy is guilty. Okay, so those are some of the stuff. I'm just going to read a little bit of that, but it's also in the ticker there at the bottom. You can see that story. But anyway, they say that as Parliament moves to establish the Section 89 impeachment committee to investigate President Cyril Ramaphosa over the PHALAPHALA scandal, you'll remember that the ANC and EFF have come under scrutiny for failing to name their MPs to the high stakes panel. So the panel has been, you'll remember, I mean, like it's been news as well. And when the ANC is fighting and somebody else, and some like, who should, and all of that. So those are the two parties to date, or until now, that have not put their names forth. Anyway, they say that the National Assembly Speaker, Utogo Didiza, recently announced the establishment of a 31-member committee following a constitutional court ruling that found Parliament's previous handling of the impeachment process was unlawful and required the matter to be reconsidered under the proper procedure. Now, one other person, like with leaders, I don't understand this whole thing. Then, like, they'll be quiet, and then something happens, and then they want to talk. And here's your former president talking.
Business deal. The president, that's what we're doing. So President Ramaphosa was correct. This is a private matter between a businessman who's a farmer and whoever comes and buys and sells from him, from his farms. It's a private matter. It's not an ANC matter. He's not trading as an ANC businessman. It's his own matter. And he's taken a decision, and I support him. He says, the law allows me to challenge this thing. I said, please go ahead. It's perfectly okay. But the courts have decided. I had written to the leader of government business after they took a wrong decision, in my view, in Parliament, when they decided not to allow the process from that panel which was led by Chief Justice Ngobo, to allow the process to go to this committee. I'd written to leader of government business to say that that decision was wrong and explained to him why it was wrong. They used the ANC majority to do a wrong thing. What the Constitutional Court has done is agreed with what I said 2 years ago. And I think the Constitutional Court is correct. I think the Speaker has acted correctly to say, okay, parliamentarians, let's constitute this committee, and this committee must do its work. The President Ramaphosa is a businessman, as he has said himself. I'm a businessman. I breed cattle, I breed wildlife, I sell, I buy. That's fine. That's his business. That's his business as a businessman. It's nothing zero to do with the ANC. I don't know why the ANC gets preoccupied with it. It's nothing to do with that. It's of a businessman who's doing his thing to be a business, and good luck to him as a businessman. The Parliament must do what the Constitutional Court said they must do. And the ANC must look at its own business. I don't know, unless there are people in the ANC who are, in fact, in partnership with business Ramaphosa. So they must then take a stand. There's no need to.
Yeah, that is, those are the views of the former president, saying that even when that happened, I wrote and I said, listen, there is a baboon's foot in this thing, and as he, well, outrightly says now, like, I don't know why the ANC is preoccupied because he's a businessman. THABO MBEKI, he called the president and spoke to him, and the president says, like, listen, president, from one president to another, I'm a business person. I sold buffalo. Okay, so I don't know what's up. Like, what I find very disturbing, all right, it is the fact that you are sticking to this particular point, right? That you were right and that you pointed it out and everything else. You are not going as far as a president, why are you going to have 580, okay, thousand US dollars, okay, not in the bank. Okay. Now this is brought like obviously we've been talking about it for the longest time ever. Scrutiny and now posing questions on what did SARS do? Because apparently they kind of I cleared him. They didn't follow up on that. The South African Reserve Bank, okay, has not done SAPS itself that are supposed to be investigating. They haven't done anything about it. Like by law, you're not supposed to have this amount of money, let alone if it were in a safe or whatever, in your couches. And you're selling us a story. This is what I find to be hypocritical about the views that are being expressed by the former president. As that he's a businessman, this is what he said, blah, blah, blah. I understand. He is speaking as a member of the African National Congress, but as a former statesman, but as a law-abiding citizen. Why are you not also looking at the angles or the reasons that are being given and are being probed by everybody else that gets this whole thing to be looked at as criminality? You're not supposed to have all of that money. You're not supposed to, you're supposed to have declared. Gotten the story about the guy who's based in Dubai, connections with Iran and all kinds of stuff, who's the one who bought the buffalo but never picked them up while he was visiting his girlfriend or partner who is from South Africa. We hear all of that. What we're concerned about is how are you as the first citizen of the country going to break the law and keep US and keep foreign currency of that magnitude? And there are even reports that, they say it's 580, but people that are scrutinizing this whole thing, okay, forensics, is saying that this must have been around 800,000 US dollars. This is coming from forensics, saying that like no, we hear the amount of money that was reported, but as far as we are concerned, this should be reaching something like for a country to have a preoccupation about the president and what he did and the law that's been broken. That's where I have a problem with President Thabo Mbeki as far as this is concerned. All right, but I was still telling you about those political parties that have actually been put in that committee by the Speaker, Togo Tidiza. They include EFF, which has been allocated 2 seats, while the remaining parties, including IFP, PA, FF Plus, Action SA, ACDP, UDM, Rise Mzansi, BOSA, ATF. ATM, Al Jamaa, NCC, and UAT. I'm sure some of them you're like, huh? Yeah, which will each be represented by one member of parliament. So yeah, so one of the biggest things about it is that like the DA now has a quagmire. You must remember when were getting into this GNU, it was like, no, we are not going to pursue this whole thing against the president of the PHALAPHALA thing and blah 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 unless there is new evidence or information that comes up. And somebody said that between these two parties, you must remember these people probably held their own meetings on some like, listen, you support me, I support you, scratch my back, I scratch your back. That is why you even see when it comes to minister positions as well, you've got quite a number of DA MPs as well, and they put them like in very strategic portfolios as well. DA has Home Affairs in the form of Schreiber. They have the Minister of Education, Minister of Communication. Now in a country, just those 3, think about it. All right. So are these people going to be what, like, yeah, it's very challenging for for the DA, I must say, because now the cat is out of the bag, but we are actually just going to have to wait and see what happens there. Something else, I'll see if I can, if I'm able to load that video very quickly, that upset me about the former president's utterances during a speech he was making in Cape Town. But very interestingly, still sticking to Ramaphosa, Tokyo Sequale over here disputes Ramaphosa's account of PHALAPHALA farm scandal. Well, he went in hard. Oh my gosh, I need to put that in the ticker for you. I need to put that in that thing, so that when you have time and you're watching the podcast again, you can like just read the story for you. Because I'll probably just do one line for you, like now, where the ANC veteran Tokyo Sequale has accused President Cyril Ramaphosa of being dishonest about the PHALAPHALA farm scandal. So that's basically what it says. It was on my namesake podcast. This is after Tokyo challenged Ramaphosa's version that the US dollars stolen from his PHALAPHALA farm were proceeds from the sale of cattle and game to a Sudanese businessman identified as Hassim Mustafa. Even the name, it's a name, Mustafa. Okay, yeah. There he says it's very scathing, eh? However, Sequale said this explanation is as a cock and bull story, adding that he should appear before the impeachment committee and answer questions related to the PHALAPHALA thing. So he went on about all the other things as well. But like, this is what is very interesting, is that like views from people within the ANC are extremely opposed as far as this one is concerned. Yeah, so it's very interesting. The entire explanation surrounding the hidden cash is the cock and bull story. It's a childish story. This is what he added. This story must be tested. How did he come to this country with his dollars? That's the main question that Tokyo Sequale is asking Ramaphosa on this particular one. So the airport and SARS and records say he never arrived. He must answer to the South Africans. Very interesting, man. Yeah. So this is the South Africa that we live in. We have all kinds of challenges in this country. It is election year. I'm sure it's a quagmire for the African National Congress. It's election year, and you have to deal with things like this instead of being out there and campaigning. If anything, this is decampaigning your political party, which has had issues in places like the Eastern Cape, where there's a tough team that was put there because the people were just fighting and never ending story. Yeah, it's my turn to eat. Hey, why are you going for the third term and all of that? Yeah. We'll leave those politics aside. Very interestingly, while I load this, I'm probably going to talk while I'm doing that, because it's very interesting. It's a story that I didn't even put on there. Picking up that, like, in Cape Town, Cape Flats, this is Stellenbosch. This is it Winterberg or something? But in the Western Cape, over this past weekend, 30 people were unalived. Like, they died, like they were murdered. These are murders. We're not talking about people that died in hospital and people who were sickly and all of these are murders. And I'm asking myself, Angie Matsera, I heard her talking about the fact that, like, they are they don't have funds, they only have one helicopter, the pilots are being turned back because there is no budget, there is no jet fuel for the two helicopters, because the other one is a cock up. There's only one to fly throughout South Africa, whether there's a military exercise, whether there is a disaster, whether there's, like, in South Africa. And I was asking myself, I was like, guys, we keep talking nonsense, like, when it comes to Donald Trump. Do you know how many, like, just helicopters, the US has with all the nonsense? If they were to decide, like, what, South Africa, we've had enough, we're going to fight you, but yeah, anyway. So it's a very interesting one, man. That there are such issues, and there are also, very interestingly, once again, there are these soldiers that are posted. There are the soldiers that are posted in in Cape Town, the Cape Flats, Eldorado Park, all of these troublesome places in South Africa. 30 in Cape, like, where are they? Where are the soldiers? But anyway, another disagreement, that's just crime on the side. That's just phala on the side. There is also the issue of the xenophobic attacks, the outcry from everybody. And it's very interesting that now all of a sudden we have people like Otatu Vavi coming up and saying that xenophobia. It's been dispelled. It is said it is not xenophobia. These groups keep telling you what it is. When you sit with your veteran minds and analyze and come back and put together press releases to release to the people, the Human Rights Commission should investigate the vigilantism from the xenophobic attacks from these vigilantes and stuff. You know exactly what it is, because there are political parties that are siding with these people. So which means that there's an issue. The way they are going about it, is it the right way? It's the only way they know how to fight what is out there. The biggest thing that I find hypocritical, once again, by people who've been in government, who are coming out of the woodworks and deciding to have an opinion on these issues. You had your time. You dealt with the protests that were going on in your time. Sit it out. If you are not willing to be honest about it. And let me play you this one by former president once again. And I'm going to point out where I have an issue with it.
Problem legitimately raised. Huge levels of unemployment. That's correct. High levels of crime. That's correct. But the finger is being pointed at wrong people. The levels of high unemployment in this country are not due. They are not due to undocumented Africans. They are not. We know the history in detail of how South Africa, 1994 to 2000, 2008, 2009, the country goes up like this. Growth rates reach 6%. From 2009, goes the opposite direction. Doesn't caused by undocumented immigrants. The people who caused that, you look at it, that decline, they are laughing in a corner there. Because we're pointing not at them, but we're pointing somewhere else. It's wrong. So it's a problem the South Africans must deal with. Now I'm raising it in the context, master of ceremonies, this, that. You can imagine what the person in Guinea-Conakry says. That I now say to this Guinea-Conakry was walking the streets of Johannesburg, go home.
Why are they saying
They don't
so?
understand it. And the reason they don't understand it is because during the course of the struggle, the continent came to own South Africa. It's very, very much South African. This South African struggle was not just a South African struggle, it was their struggle. So,
oh, by the way, with South Africans were all over. They went to these countries. They trained us. They did all of these things. I looked at some numbers. No more than between 40 and 60,000 South Africans were out in the diaspora and in other countries that went on exile. Right? Right? Compare the numbers. Let's continue just to end it off.
The Africans will continue to come to South Africa. Doesn't matter what you do. You can't change the hearts and the minds of these Africans. It's a particular frame of mind with regard to South Africa which they helped to liberate. What we as South Africans have got to do is to say, how do we deal with this? You are not going to solve the problem of unemployment here by shouting against undocumented Africans. And leave the culprit. The culprits are sitting here. I can even tell you their names.
See, that's a kicker for me. That's a kicker for me, and I was willing to let this thing go. But to say that, like, I know they are sitting in the corner and they are laughing somewhere. The country is in turmoil. The country is being turned upside down by ordinary South Africans, your constituents, people that vote for you, for your party. And you have the guts, as a former statesman, to say that I know. Maybe they should take you to flipping Madanga so you can mention these people that are actually responsible for what is going on. Because clearly we are the dumb ones who are saying that like it's because of undocumented people, and it's because of the porous borders, it is because of all the other issues that people are pointing out to be the issue. So you sit there as leaders, and this is a public platform. You can name them, you know them. Why are you not doing anything? Are you going to be called a sellout? Should we continue to have these people that are screaming? Nobody just screams. Everybody, a person will scream when they're feeling pain. South Africans are on the streets because they want to poke the people who are responsible that you are refusing to name. So basically, you're just telling us that you guys are just playing politics with people's lives. You take the issue of 400 or 300 people that were in Durban. In record time, 2 hours, they'd already verified that those people are in South Africa legitimately. And yet, for the longest time ever, people get turned away from Home Affairs. Like, who's the dumb one here? Anyway, I'm actually just gonna, let me just finish it off for those people that like the game.
What we're pointing fingers at the wrong people, and people are shouting. I'm saying that there's a regression that's taken place. That sense of African integration that we had 25 years ago, I think has receded. Why? I don't know. But that's a question that we must ask and answer.
So yeah, those are the views of the former president as far as this is concerned. And I think for me, this is very upsetting. The fact that you are going to say that these people are out there, you could point at them, and you allowing the country to go through what it's going through. Because it is said the world over, it's got nothing to do with xenophobia, it's got nothing to do with hate, it's got everything to do with making sure that SAPS, Home Affairs, Customs, they do their freaking job. That they look after our borders, that they make sure that the people that are in the country are people who are here legally. How long must people be talking about this thing? Yeah, Pan-Africanism. Yes, let's do a Pan-Africanism. By bringing in, by bringing in Ghanaians, by bringing in Nigerians that can assist us in fighting to make sure that there's equality, that the land redistribution issue. How did you guys do it? How did you achieve it? Come to South Africa. Let us export people that are smart, that fought apartheid. Let's export them to Nigeria and say, this is how we dealt with apartheid. This is how we feel that over 200 million Nigerians can deal with 3 million Boko Haram militia. That way you are fixing the diaspora. That way you are being Pan-Africanist. It can't be one-sided, people flooding into one country. We should be supporting them. We should be saying, like, please, let's give you all the tools to go back and fight. Because that is what we are doing as South Africans. We are in our country. We're not trying to go to other countries. We are in our country and we are fighting for it. And this is just the one thing that you refuse to understand and to force your comrades to deal with. It is crazy, man. It is crazy. And by the way, listen to this.
No foreigners ever developed a country.
No foreigners ever developed a country.
The nationals developed their own countries.
Do you hear that? The nationals, South Africans, developed their country by doing what they're doing, by being on the streets. That's what they're trying to do. They are trying to get the attention from you as government to do what you are supposed to do. Put in jail the people that are selling, that are letting people into the country illegally.
The future for Africa is bright. The future for Africa is in the hands of Africans. Because for me, and I hope for every one of you, the future is Africa.
Thank you. Why is somebody else picking that up? And South Africans are doing nothing but pointing fingers. And by the way, I had this conversation with somebody on social media platforms around what's happening in Britain. Spoke about it, and I think even the previous episode as well, where Europe is basically the population is being diluted. The porous borders are everywhere. If it's not porous borders, it is the law that allows people listen to this. You might have seen where I wrote, xenophobia is necessary. Get this.
You embrace too much multiculturalism, which is what the Europeans are doing, it will lead to eventually suicide, national suicide, okay? All right? You're talking about civil war possibly emerging in Europe over the next 5 to 10 years. You look at what's happening in Britain, in France, their populations are being replaced, and
I want you to listen to this part. A civil war because of all of these people that are being brought into the country. Just last week, they were on the streets of London saying that, can we have our Britain? Can we have our country? The same thing is happening in the US. It's happening in South Africa. That's why I say that there's a bigger conspiracy than I think we are led to believe. That we are led to believe that it is not only happening in South Africa. You know, it is not only happening in the United States. It is not only happening in France. They've done the same thing. What is this issue?
10 years. You look at what's happening in Britain, in France, their suicide, national suicide, okay? All right? You're talking about civil war possibly emerging in Europe over the next 5 to 10 years. You look at what's happening in Britain, in France, their populations are being replaced. And I'm not saying refugees are bad. What I'm saying is that nations need to protect their own identity and value system, because that's what gives meaning and purpose to the local population. Yeah. I don't understand why people are allowed to immigrate wherever, but you just shouldn't be able to pack your bags and then move to America or Dubai or Singapore. You should have to stay where you are and fight for your community, because that's what we.
Do you hear that? Stay where you are and fight for your country. That's what South Africans are flipping doing. And everybody is against that.
America or Dubai or Singapore, you should have to stay where you are and fight for your community, because that's what we've done throughout human history. Like if we always had the option of if we're unhappy, just moving somewhere else, we would never have human civilization. Human civilization is a coming together of people with a common bond, with a common sense of identity, and then building on top of that, right? So I mean, I feel we've gone too far, and we've embraced. The very common phrase now, very popular phrase is suicidal empathy, right? Where you care too much about your neighbor, and when you should really be looking after your own house.
Yep, that's the word you take from now on. It's called suicidal empathy. Like, we feel for you. We really want to support you. We understand what you are going through, Zimbabwe. We understand what you are going through. Y'all have to come here and fight. To be here. Why are you not getting skills? Why are you not getting negotiators? For that matter, it has emerged that at some point when Robert Mugabe wanted to resign, it was our very same former president who was saying, you will do no such thing. Mugabe had picked up that Zimbabweans had said, thank you, sir. We've had enough. Let's have regime change. There's a bigger thing happening than we are led to believe. Trust you me. These are man-made, man. But anyway, moving on, just to end it off. But I really would like your opinions. Like, I always feel like I'm talking all alone. But hopefully on the comments, you will share your view. And yeah, if you are watching us on YouTube, the Slyso TV podcast on my page on Facebook. Yeah, I told you we want to get to TikTok. So please help us by making sure that you follow us so that we can bring the podcast live on TikTok. Okay, and we might have these if you follow us. Okay, we will pick people at random who decide to follow us on TikTok, and we'll just send them one of these beautiful cups. So winter, you need your soup, you need your cup, your whatever you put in it. Yeah, but anyway, very interesting for me. A gunman storming the ex-minister Naledi Pando's home, fleeing with some valuables. I'm just going to breeze over this through this particular story. For if crime is that brazen in South Africa, how much more for a person who lives in a shack? If this could happen, I locked her up in a bedroom. The husband was stuck in the bathroom while all of this was happening. They ransacked the house, took some phones, took some valuables, made off with their car. This is a former minister's residence. How much more for you and I? You understand what I'm trying to say? They understand why people are tired of crime. And please don't get me wrong. I am not saying that the crime was committed by a foreigner. Just crime levels on their own. Because if you take the issues in Cape Town, the 30 people that passed on just this past weekend, that were murdered this past weekend, that is criminality. That is far more between South Africans than it is that it involves foreigners. There's that particular fight, and there's also the fight against crime. That does not appear or seem like it is being won because you have issues like this. To end it off, well, second last story, guys. This is another rude way awakening. I thought it was just gonna be like, a dope episode, but there's just so much, and I don't think we can ignore all the stuff that is happening in this country. As Amaxhosa would say. Yeah, some very sad news, man. I don't know how we're going to deal with this because the minute you talk about fuel price, We look at petrol and all kinds of stuff. Fuel means that heater in the dead of winter. They say that we must brace ourselves as the country because it's going to be cray. As far as June the predictions are concerned, as far as our issues with the my gosh. They say that the South African petrol prices are set to rise in June, with diesel expected to become significantly cheaper. Well, good luck to you, diesel engine. This is according to the latest Central Energy Fund CEF data that's just been received. They say that the daily snapshot shows a small over recovery of between 3 cents for 95, okay, unleaded, and 8 cents for 93 unleaded, while diesel is currently looking set for decreases of between 5 rand for the 500 ppm and 4 rand 25 for the 50 ppm. Okay, those are the different diesel grades. They say, however, this relief is expected to be tempered by the phased withdrawal of Treasury's fuel tax. You will remember that they tried to cushion this whole thing. So you find with petrol, you're paying at least about 7 cents or 8 cents less, because that is cushioned by the Treasury. Throughout the month of April, I think it was in June, April and May. They say that from June, the relief will be halved to 1 rand 50 in the case of petrol, and 1 rand 96 cents for diesel before being fully removed in July. So it will not be there in July. So if the prices continue to rise, the war, there's no solution between the US and Iran and all of that, it's still going to get tough, guys. It's going to get tough. They say that means that, I'm just trying to find, nope. Yeah, I'm not even going to go. Go into what I've just seen now. But that's what's happening. At least there'll be a bit of relief as far as diesel is concerned. To end it off, here's this guy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Brian Mokotsi, I don't know. He's just one of those guys. He shouldn't be fighting for his freedom. He should just say, listen, I'll take whatever you give me. Let me start serving my sentence now. Is now being accused of wanting to bribe the investigating officer. This is all while he was being processed and stuff. And before he leaves, I'm like, Ibra, anything, what can I do for you not to oppose bail to the investigating officer? And the investigating officer said, nah, don't try that issue with me, bro. Don't try that issue with me. So that was also read out in court while he was still busy trying to apply for bail. He just doesn't stop. He just gets his foot in. If I were him, I'd say, Judge, here am I. I probably committed all of these crimes. Please just, But anyway, that's the last one that we end off with, ladies and gents. Please make sure that you drop us comments, what your opinions are around the issues that we are sharing, right? Because it's just our opinions based on data that we come across, and just looking at the state of the country, and comparing with other countries, and try to say, hey, don't you think there's something going on here? That is our duty, all right? But anyway, that is it. Don't forget, I'm going to keep reminding you until the 4th of November, 2026, when we have to go vote, because it is very imperative. It is important who runs your municipality, because that is where the bulk of your tax money is funneled. So every episode until the 4th of November, I'm going to remind you that you need to vote. You need to decide who gives you water, who gives you electricity, who fills the potholes, who makes sure that you live in a safe environment that is free of crime. You live in an area that is vibrant. with social cohesion, whether it is sports, whether it is arts. Kids are safe when they go to school and they come back from school. Law is upheld. It is only through your vote. Most importantly, the tax money that you are paying. That's what happens to it. But anyway, people, have a beautiful week. We will definitely do this again next week, okay? Right here on the Slyso TV podcast. And by the way, be on the lookout. We've just tried to revamp. In fact, we've revamped a bit of the website. So go and check out slyso.co.za before we put up our shop where we're going to have these for you. Okay. Whatever suggestions you have, you know, my social media platforms, that's where we need you at. Otherwise, have a beautiful Monday evening and a week ahead. Stay safe. Don't fucking break the law. And love people.